Well, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is Wealthy Wednesday. This is Coach Lynn Richardson, and I am so excited about the topic that we are engaging in today. We are talking about managing your money by managing people. Let me tell you a little bit about how I came to this topic. As you know, I am the author of Living Check to Monday, and I tell people all the time, Living Check to Monday is worse than Living Check to Check. You see, Living Check to Check means you get paid on Friday, you kick it on the weekend, and you get through the next couple of weeks, and you've got a little bit of money here and there, and by the next payday, you are broke. Or maybe you need to borrow some gas money the morning of payday from Big Mama or somebody like that. You know what I'm talking about. But Living Check this Monday is a whole nother game. You get paid on Friday, kick it on the weekend, pay on your past due bills, and on Monday, you are broke. Well, I was living that lifestyle, as you know, as you've heard me say on multiple occasions. If you are my coaching client, or you've read my book, or you have heard me speak at an engagement, or if you follow the Check to Monday maps in our life coaching module, you know that I was living that lifestyle, making 50, 60, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 a month. And people say, wait a minute, if I had that amount of money, there was no absolute way. Let me tell you something. Money doesn't solve a money problem. And if we've got money issues, it won't matter how much money we get. Isn't that scary? Think about the situation that you are in right now. Think about the fact that you want to create financial abundance. Think about the fact that you have dreams, hopes, and goals. Think about the fact that you have a family. Think about the fact that you have a family who will eventually have a family. Yes, I'm talking about generational wealth. Now I want you to think about this. Unless there is a mindset change, unless there is a major mindset change, unless we learn the money game all over again, guess what? It won't matter how much money you get. We'll still be facing the situations we're facing right now. So we've talked about living by the 10, 10, 30, 50. I've talked about managing your money and all of those other things. But today we're going to talk about managing your money by managing people. See, everything that you do in your life creates your money cycle. Every single thing that you do. In fact, most things that you do cost money. One of the things that I did when I was moving beyond that Check the Monday stage, getting disconnected from dollar signs, reclaiming everything that God had for me, and really changing how I operated in this world, one thing that I did is I didn't go anywhere, because every time I went out of my house, I had to spend money, even if it was just gas. And I remember gas was $4 a gallon. So I had this thing called gas price distance. I live in a suburb of Chicago, and there's a main street called Lincoln Highway, 1 block from my house. And everything you can imagine is on Lincoln Highway. The mall is there. The grocery stores are there. The post office, my children's school, church, everything. And so I was of the mindset then, if it wasn't in gas price distance, I couldn't go, which meant if it wasn't a block from my house on Lincoln Highway, I didn't do it. I meant that. So we have to manage the things around us. We have to manage the situations. We have to manage the circumstances. And sometimes we can't manage everything, because maybe your job is an hour and a half away and you simply have to drive. Or maybe you've got X, Y, and Z going on and you've got to have this expense, or you've got to pay for child care, or whatever the case may be. But you can manage the people in your life. So how are we going to do that? Well, first, we've got to put them in a couple of categories. And once we place these people in categories, we're going to be able to see how easy it's going to be to manage them out of our lives, out of our situations, and manage ourselves into the financial abundance that we so well deserve. So let's talk about the first group of people. And I did a Facebook posting on this, and, so many people commented and did the thumbs up and all that stuff. So if you're my Facebook friend, you can go on Facebook and find this comment, and you can also chime in if you wish. But the first group of people, so we're talking about managing your money by managing your people, the people in your life. And I look at your life as a theatrical presentation. Let's look at your life like a movie that you get to write the script to. One of the things that I love about prophetess Janet Floyd, she was here at our annual women's conference last year, and she said, God has already written a script on your life, and there is a destiny for you. We just have to follow the script. We have to go according to the plan. So just imagine the movie script of your life. Well, there are going to be some people in your life that need to be in the balcony. See, the people in your life that are in the balcony, they're so far away, they can see you in the distance. But if you've ever been on the stage and if you've ever looked up at the balcony, you can't see them. So they can see you in the distance, but you cannot see them. Because if you were to see them, who they truly were, you would see that they are not who they say they are. These are people who live and who value you and who value the world by material possessions. They value and judge everything by how much you have, what kind of car it is, what kind of car you're driving, what kind of house you live in, what kind of neighborhood it is, what kind of jewelry you have, where you shop, if you are shopping, do you have the latest purse, do you have the latest pair of shoes, the newest this came out. These are the people that need to be in the balcony. Now, I'll tell you why later on, why you're not going to completely, get them out of the picture altogether, because you have a job in this as well. But do you know any people who deserve to be in the balcony? Let me give you a hint. These are people who remind you of who you are not as opposed to who you are. When you see them, maybe there's a sense of envy that comes on because you see all the things they have and you just don't have it yet. Maybe their children are in all of the clubs. Maybe their children go to all the finest private schools, and maybe they're a part of the crew. And when the girls get together, everybody's talking, and they're going on vacations, and they're doing this. Let me tell you something. Don't believe the hype. I was living that lifestyle. I was doing all of those things. I was spending thousands of dollars a month on my children, going to cheerleading competitions, flying all over the world, this, that, and the other. And when I looked at my paycheck, when I looked at my checkbook, I was able to see that I was so far out of alignment. You see, I was not a tither. I was not following the will of God in my life. Yes, I was spending a lot of money. And yes, to the people around me, it looked like I had it going on. But let me tell you something. I was living a life of death and destruction, and I was doing it by my own hands. So don't be confused. These people who deserve to be in the balcony, remember, they can see you, but you can't see them. You can't see them because they won't show you who they really are. They hide behind material things. They hide behind value. They'll come into your home and make you think that your furniture isn't good enough. They'll show up, you'll go out to eat or whatever, and they'll make you think what you're wearing isn't good enough. There'll be a time when everybody needs to get together to go to whatever, and you've got to have something new. These people cannot show you who they really are because they are insecure. And so until you move into your financial harvest, they belong in the balcony. They can see you, but you can't see them. You will not spend a lot of time. And guess what? You don't even have to make an announcement. You don't have to send them a letter quitting them and telling them you're no longer going to be involved with them. Let me tell you something. Just do it. Pray that your motives are based on love. See, envy and hate and all that kind of stuff has no place here. Because guess what? You've got to love, because when they see the light of God on your life, when they see the changes, remember, they can see you, but you cannot see them. When they see the light of God on your life and the love, then you have to have prepared yourself, and you would have to have behaved accordingly so that you can be the light to them. For a better relationship with Jesus, for a better relationship with God, for a better relationship with themselves, so that they can begin to live in the light that you are living in. So these are people in the balcony. They value, you know who they are. And let me tell you something. What's most painful is some of these people are in your family. Some of these people may be your children. Some of these people may be your parents. Let me tell you something. If they're your children, you made them that way. So you may have to put them in the balcony until they get it together. I know people who have children, and as long as they're doing things for their children are there, and when they stop, their children get an attitude. Well, guess what? They'll be in the balcony, in the nosebleed seats. That's where they'll be. Some of them are your friends, sorority sisters, colleagues at work. People who seem like they've got it together, people who seem like they're very popular, and people who seem like they're just the kind of people that you want to be around. But not if they are fake, not if they are false, and not if they remind you of who you are not, as opposed to who you are. That's group one. Here's the second group of people. There's another group of people who will no longer get a ticket at all, okay? These are people who drain you, and when they use you up, they are nowhere to be found. They are only in your life for what you can do for them. Any drainers? Anybody in your life? You're spending money doing things, and you think if you help them, they're going to be okay, and this, that, and the other, and not. And guess what? They are going down and down. Let me tell you something. You're not God. You can't save anyone. When I was living check to Monday, that was 95% of my problem. That I was paying people's mortgages, giving people this. But guess what? I said to myself I was a good person. I wasn't a good person. I was just using money to control people. So if I gave you this money, then I want you to do this, which in my mind, I wanted you to do something better for your life. But who am I to want something more for you than you want for yourself? You've got to want it for yourself. I think about my daughter now, who's 15 years old. She just got accepted to Harvard University's program where they accept a certain number of high school kids to take college classes with Harvard students. She'll get a Harvard transcript. She's a math genius. She ranks #1 in her class. She's taking calculus. She took she took honors geometry online when she was 12 years old at Northwestern University, one of the top schools in the world. I mean, this girl has got it together. She's got it together. But with all of her education, with all of her talent, here's what I told her. I said, let me be crystal clear about something. Let's be crystal clear about your motive. You are not being excellent in your education because of me. Your mom, Lynn Richardson, I already have a degree. You need to do this for you. You need to do it for you. So people have to want it for themselves. If you are carrying somebody, guess what? You've got to let them go so that they can find their power, but more importantly, so that they can figure out how God can help them. See, you don't know that God is all you need until God is all you have. But for some of us, we keep sticking around trying to do God's job. And God is saying, move out of the way. So these people that are draining you, these people that use you up, and then when they use you up, they are nowhere to be found, or they come back with another excuse, they don't even get a ticket. You've got to disconnect yourself entirely. You have to give them an opportunity to hit rock bottom, because here's what's going to happen when they hit rock bottom. When they hit rock bottom, they are either going to rise or they're either going to sink. If they are going to rise, they were going to rise without you anyway, doing it without you. They just needed to find their own sense of strength, energy, courage, fortitude, and tenacity. And only God can give them that. You can't deposit that in them. If they instead choose to sink, it's because they were going to sink anyway. They were going to keep going down. The only difference is, if you stayed connected to them, they were going to take you with them as far as they could take you. That's where they were going to take you. Now, last group of people, these people get a front row seat. These are the people who are going to say bravo simply because you are you. They see the real you. They see your struggle. They see your pain. And they're okay with it. They see where you're trying to go. They see that you are making some changes. And guess what? They are not intimidated by the changes. And in some cases, maybe they're even inspired by the changes. And they begin to make some changes with you. They don't ridicule you. They don't say to you when they call you and say, well, we want to go out, and you say, nope, I can't afford it. They don't look at you like you have 4 heads, 6 arms, and 3 eyeballs on your face. They don't then go back and talk about you. Who does she think she is? Why are you going to church so much? These are people that are supportive. And in some cases, they will be so inspired that they'll make changes. But in other cases, maybe they won't make any changes. But they will not stop you or block you from making yours. They're okay. They deserve a front row seat. They may even be there to help you. These are the kind of people that will even lead you. They'll say, you know what? I know that you're trying to do X, Y, and Z. I saw this book. I saw this newspaper article. I saw something on TV. You should check this out. I'm proud of you. Keep it moving. Keep it going. These are your cheerleaders. Now, let me tell you something else about these people who have a front row seat in your life. In many cases, these are going to be brand new people that you've never met before. Yes. See, if you do what you always did, you will get what you always got. So the people who have been around you during your cycle of financial destruction, during your cycle of living beyond your means, during your cycle of spending addictions, during your cycle of keeping up with the Joneses, during the cycle of not managing your credit, your debt, whatever the case may be, or even during the cycle of, I know people who have excellent credit, but they're living way beyond their means, out of order. Go to church every day, every Sunday, on the deacon board, on this and the other, but they're living beyond their means. So everything that you've done up to this point and everybody that you've done it with has gotten you to this point. So guess what? When you look at this front row, it's going to be some faces that you've never seen before. Because as you begin to cross over into the life that God has for you, you're going to have to find some new trainers. You're going to have to find some new coaches. You're going to have to find some new partners. You're going to have to find some new people that you call friend. You know, it's interesting to me in the Bible, two things Jesus says. One, when they told him, Jesus, your mother and your brother are outside waiting for you, he said, who is my mother and who is my brother? He said, he who does the will of my Father, that's my mother and my brother and my sister. Blew me away. Blew me away. And I know some of us may have seen this scripture, Matthew 12:50, and thought, well, wait a minute, Jesus actually, he's kind of cold now. He dissing his mama. Mary was nice, wasn't she? She went through all that for him, but he said it to prove a point. And here's what else he said in the Bible. So let's think about all your connections that you have, your soul ties, people you just can't get rid of. You're thinking, I know this sounds good, but this person I just can't. Come on, come on, come on. He also said that he did not come to this earth to bring unity. Wow. Now that's huge. He came to this earth to bring division, to bring mother against daughter, mother against daughter-in-law, father against son. He came to divide households. Now, you might be thinking, now, Jesus is love. You know, he said love everybody. Yes, he did. But he came to bring division. Let me tell you why. Because the unity that we have connected to each other without Christ is a deadly unity. In other words, we were all pretty much probably going to hell together. Forgive me if somebody's offended. Because we were all living out of order. So he came to bring division. He came to go and get one out of the house so that that one could see the light. And that one could start to walk right, live right, talk right, spend their money right. So then that one could go back and get the rest of them and create true unity. Wow. Isn't that amazing? That's why he came to bring division. That's why if there are people connected to you who are negatively impacting your financial situation, it will be almost impossible for you to move beyond the state where you are at right now. When I look at my life, the people who were around me when I was living check to Monday, those people, many of them have changed as well, but those who didn't, I have a whole new family. I have a whole new set of quote-unquote friends. I have friends all over this country. The people who want to do the will of my Father in heaven, if you're trying to figure out, Lynn is so nice, I want to get to know her, she's a great person, this, that, and the other, she's inspirational. Let me tell you something. I want to be friends. I want to be connected to anybody who wants to be connected to the will of God. That's who I want to be involved with. That's who I want to spend my time with. That's who I want to spend my energy with. I have seen the rewards. So, as you think about managing your money by managing people? Who are you going to place in the balcony? They can see you because you got to let them see the light, but you can't see them because they won't even show you their real selves anyway. These are people who say one thing and do another. These are people who look like something that they are not. These are people who remind you of what you are not rather than reminding you of who you are. These are people who place more value on material things, who measure value by material things, than by your intrinsic value. Who are they? Then there's people who are no longer going to get a ticket for an indefinite amount of time because you don't know how long it's going to take for God to work on them. They drain you. They're leeches. They latch onto you and they suck everything out. And when they're done sucking it out, they're gone. Dispatch them from your life today. Let me tell you something. You pray and ask God to show you who these people are and to remove you from their presence, He will do it. And it doesn't have to be a big scene. I'm not into calling everybody, tell them what they did. Let them call you and let them ask you what's wrong. And you can tell them, but you can tell them with love. You can say, when I'm around you, I feel inadequate. And I know that that does not come from God. When I'm around you, I'm tempted to spend more money. When I'm around you, I feel as if, and I know that that's not from God. And I don't condemn you for that, but I know that I cannot be involved in that. If I want to get the things that I need for me, my family, my children, my children's children, generations to come. And then lastly, who's going to have a front row seat? Be open to receiving those people who need a front row seat in your life. Be open to receiving those opportunities. Yes, I know they're scary. I don't want to stop spending money. I've got clients all over the country, Wealth University. These are people who have decided that they need to learn. They need to learn. They need to go back to the drawing board, just like kindergarten, and learn the basics all over again. So I invite you. If someone invited you to this call, to this Wealthy Wednesday, give them a call and tell them thank you. But then take action. Do the next thing. Take the next step. What are you going to do? Chances are you need a life coach or financial coach to be in that front row of your life saying bravo, no matter what your situation is. The first time I looked at my budget when I was living check to Monday, I cried and wept. Many of you, some of my clients now on this call, I've cried with you. You have no idea. You have been crying, and I've been holding back tears on the phone. I am not kidding you because I remember where you were. I remember that feeling. But together, we can stand strong. So, are you ready to make the change? Are you ready to stand strong? Send me an email. coach@lynnrichardson.com. coach@lynnrichardson.com. Or text me, 708-243-7925. Again, 708-243-7925. You're here for a reason. Let's make sure this is a prosperous, abundant, wealthy, and peaceful season in your life. God bless you. Bye-bye.